Bonsoir tout le monde. Bienvenue à nos deux réunions ce soir.
Good evening. Welcome to our two meetings this evening. First, we have two public hearings. Before we start the public meeting, we'll start with the two public hearings for two rezoning requests. So for this, I would need someone to move to open the public hearing, and all in favor saying aye, against nay. Carried. Thank you. So now we will go with the zoning request Z5459Z to modify the municipal plan P143611P.
No, not now. After
OK.
We'll do the public hearing after that.
Yeah. Donc, premièrement, nous allons
First, we'll hear our two representatives from Plan 360. I would like to welcome Mr. Guillaume Sanchez. I don't know if I pronounced your name right. Thank you very much.
Non, il n'y a pas de souci.
Il faut qu'on se branche, on aura les images.
They have to connect and we'll have the pictures.
Merci, Monsieur le Maire, et merci.
Thank you, Mr. Mayor, and thank you to every one of you. In terms of process, today it's the public hearing. It's a time where we present a project, and it's a time when everyone can give their opinion on the project, and then the council will vote for the project, or they can vote against or for. To give you a context, the request is on a large lot in the Shediac East borough. It's close to the boundaries of Kapakadi and close to the drive-in. And the property is about 2 acres, and it's a flag lot. So this property is related to Main Street, where a small band, and it's only the back part that can be developed, and that's that part. The property is qualified as commercial in the land use map for Shediac, and its own general commercial. And nearby we find a commercial zoning and residential. This is a 3D model of the residential building. So the proposed development includes 4 buildings with each 3-story each, 3 residential beams. They have 18. They will 18 units building, and they will be at the back of the building. And then you will have a mixed-use building with businesses on the main floor. So this building is not included in this evening rezoning request. This is the site plan. So it's proposed to create only one access to Main Street for the overall development, and it would be organized around a central park and parking, and they will leave setback a minimum of 12 meters for, and they would have a 12 meters fence, and also vegetation covered in the Shediac adopted a bylaw for multifamily, so to more adjacent, and it's followed in this case. As for the planning principle, generally we prefer to have a commercial zoning along Main Street to encourage businesses development on the center downtown, but this specific use requires a specific approach. It's a 2 acres property, a flag lot, and its superficie and shape makes very difficult to develop to human-sized businesses to be adapted to Shediac East. And the staff is thinks the request is reasonable and opens opportunities for residential development adapted to the local context. As for the BISA, like three multifamily buildings are not authorized like in general commercial zone. Also, like the businesses, they would require businesses on the first floor, and the shape of the lot would not be good for this. Like the R3 zoning would allow this development by following like the bylaws of the requirement of the Shediac BASA, and it would have to be approved by the PRAC committee if they want to go forward with this one. We identify two variances. Here, like the bylaw requires that we cannot have a parking at the front of a residential building, and they're also asking that the buildings has to be like 6.5 meters from the street, but because of the shape of the lot, like it would be impossible, and it could not be integrated like in the local urban context. We consulted the staff of the town, and here it came out to discussion. The property has access to the public water system. However, like for the sewer system, it will have to be done before the issuance of a permit. Fire hydrant will have to be installed like for safety purposes, and also like a traffic impact study will be required before the issuance of a permit, and all these conditions have been integrated in the new bylaw. And we also consulted like the commercial partner. We did not get any specific concern concerning this project. To summarize, well, the actual uses are commercial, but the shape of the laws does not allow really this type of development for commercial intensive uses. The R3 zone would permit like to maintain some economic opportunities on Main Street while having housing unit. The building, like a 3-story building with setbacks and also like vegetation spaces, would allow for good integration of the project. So this is the proposal of the bylaw to change the zoning map. That is be conformed like what was presented. Secondly, that a traffic impact study be submitted so that the recommendation be considered before issuing the permit. And third, like the new sewer line will have to be completed before issuing a permit, and the project will have to be validated by the fire chief. And finally, you will have to agree with the variance presented previously. So this one is to modify like the uses of the municipal plan, and the PRAC committee reviewed this project, and they recommend to accept this the bylaw as presented. This concludes my presentation, and if you have any question, I will take them. Thank you very much. At least it gives us to understand the project. Any council members who would have questions on? Councillor Paul Boudreau, there's a question. When you're planning for parking for apartments, for snow removal, I noticed like other like apartment buildings like on Webster Street. So when they remove the snow, like the tenants are all parked like along the street, but this one here it would be on Main Street. Like, how do you expect for the owner like to solve this problem? Like when they remove the snow, so is it something you think about? But we looked if there's enough parking spaces, but there's still a good, nice parking at the center, and it goes above the requirements of the bylaw in terms of spaces, and I think there should be enough space for the tenants. So it was already discussed. So thank you very much. Thank you, Councillor Boudreau. So, thank you, Guilhem. I don't know if the applicant or the developer is in the room. I would give him the opportunity like to say a word.
Want to say, we'll provide the opportunity.
Allô, merci de nous avoir aujourd'hui.
Thanks for
Moi,
having
j'ai
us
pas
today.
vraiment rien à dire.
I
Juste
don't
qu'il y a
have
des
much to say
questions,
unless if someone had questions for me,
allez répondre.
I'm ready to answer them.
Nous autres, c'est un beau projet.
But it's a nice project, and I really see it as for in a good section of the town, and it will go well with the new developments, the new school, and I think it will be a good thing for our community.
Parfait, merci bien. Je sais pas s'il y avait des
Thank
membres
you.
du conseil qui avaient
I
des
don't know if
questions.
any council members would have questions.
Le concept du projet est comprenable.
So the project concept is easy to understand. It's nothing strange to us. Thank you very much.
Est-ce que, M. Greffier, est-ce qu'on avait reçu
Mr.
des
Clerk,
commentaires de la
did
part
we
du
receive
public?
like comments from the public? We have no written comments, but I saw like if we have individuals in the room would like to comment on this project, I will allow the time. If anyone, but if there's no one, that's still okay.
On annonce à l'intérieur d'un périmètre de 100 mètres.
So it's within like we send notice like to a perimeter of 100 meters. So if you have any comments, if there's no comments or question, that's still okay.
Les membres du conseil avaient dit autre
Council
question.
members, any other questions on this project? Seeing none, I know I have none. So you had the chance like to see it, to see the project before in another presentation. So I will conclude like the public hearing for this part. We have a second part. This one is for the bylaws 60Z and for the plan 12B. Good evening, Mr. Robichaud. Good evening, Mr. Mayor.
Une autre demande.
So we're talking for another request.
Oui, puis avancer.
So please come up front. On this one or the one before?
Oui, moi je m'appelle Michel Légère.
My name is Michel Légère. I'm the operations manager at Shediac Rentals for those who don't know me. So my backyard is right close to this project. I had a couple of questions like for people from Cartier Street. So the buffer zone will be really important. So the fence is really important. The driveway, like going to the project, there's a house that's just really close on Main Street, and it's almost like the bedroom of those residences. So we want to make sure that there is a fence and some trees that will be planted, and we would like to specify like apple trees, because along like that fence, like 1 or 3 owners on Cartier Street, there's already some apple trees, and I thought that might be something that would continue. So they might see some deers like eating apples, because we saw some deers like mooses and bears on Cartier Street like just recently over the last 6 months. But well, bears maybe not so much. It was really interesting to see like. It's just something we would like to address. The other question I would have, like the main water line, well, where will it go like for the project? So the water line, it's on Main Street, unless I'm mistaken. I'm hoping I'm right. And then there would be the lateral would be essentially it will go along like the entrance or the other driveway for this building. It will be done on their line. So the main water line going to the project would be at the back of the Best Buy. So you're talking about the sewer system? Oh, yes, this is a sewer line, not the water line. So this project for the water line, I'm not the most informed, but it goes essentially like from the lagoon, and it will cross the Ohio Road, like up to the brook there. Well, around the brook. Yeah. Yeah, Bob said he's nodding. So our street, will it be in this construction? No?
No? Okay, c'est bon.
No, okay. I just want to make sure, like, so they're more aware, like, where this pipe will go. So this this line will allow to develop many other lots in this part of town, and also eventually go like just the other side of Route 15. And to allow the other development, we already got the funding for this one, but we have to do the project, and the project will not start like this month. Mr. McEwen, maybe you can give us a couple of specifications. So good evening. As for the main trunk, like for sewer, the trunk sewer, so that one will go like by Main Street in front of the property where this development will occur, and then it will go up Ohio Road, and then turn under the brook. So it's not really close to your house. So on behalf of the residents, might be here, like a resident from my street. Any questions or anything else? Well, thanks for your time. It's my pleasure. So, part two, Mr. Robichaud. Thank you, Mr. Mayor. So, good evening, council members. So this evening, I'm presenting another like rezoning request, and the map, land use map, like and modification. So this is on Main Street. It's a diamond windshield. Councilor Cormier had a question. I did not see him for the other project. Councilor, thank you, Mr. Mayor. Since the applicant is here, like in the room, is there like an issue like to accommodate the residents to build a fence or maybe plant some apple trees, or is it a financial issues for him? Well, according to the chain 2013, like 12 meters must include like the fence and some trees and some greenery. So there's already a formula to follow it. The type of tree, well, I'm open like to. I have no preference whatsoever. Thank you. Since it's a public meeting and it's the time like to get those specifications. Thank you. So, I have to look at the small screen.
All right.
Yeah, third time's a charm.
Third time's a charm, Mr. Robichaud. So the project is located 157 Main Street, just east of Bellevue Street. So we see like the property circle in red. So the owner belongs like the car wash in front. And as the previous file, it's a flag-shaped lot, so it's really narrow at the front and big at the back. So in the narrow part, there's not no space for development, but the owner wanted to develop at the back. So just to it's a night video, so we are Main Street. Where the midnight video was located? It's not there anymore. Existing zoning is a general commercial. General commercial allows multifamily unit, but when it's on Main Street, it has to be like above the first floor, and this one here, it's only like one-story building. So the request is one building with 13 units. These are row houses, typical like with an attached garage and 2 bedrooms, and it would be like almost like a C shape, and the entrance would be on Main Street. The entrance would be like a P shape to access the property. We do not have elevation, but that's the type of house building they would like to build. So, and I think they have some on Monique Street. So they build the same, and they want to build like something similar. And the shape of the building will be different, and it would be like 13 instead of 4 or 6. So this is a site photo. We see like the car wash and the properties at the back. So you see there is a single family that will be demolished, and the proposed location would be at the back. This is like an existing access going to the house, so it will have to be paved according to your bylaw, and that's what they will use like to get to the property. And I alluded to like multifamily buildings are allowed, but it has to be like on top of the first floor. So that's why there is, so they're proposing like a zoning R3 to accommodate the project. And they also identify like a couple of variances, like a similar to that one. Usually the buildings have to be like located close to Main Street, but because of a shape, flag-shaped lot, so they will have to be at the back. So the first variance is to increase the maximum setback to locate the building farther from the street. And the second variance, the proposed R3 that is proposed requires a two-story minimum, but they only want to build a one-story building. So they would need a variance for that too. We consulted like the provincial departments for it's a requirement for rezoning. So we have a list of departments who consulted. So no concerns came out, nothing to mention this evening. And we consulted the town of Shediac and also like the Shediac sewer commission. They said that the drainage plan would be required for every new development, and they have to meet the zero net for the Shediac sewer commission was consulted, and they said like the property would be served by their system. Just to summarize, so this is a unique shape for this property, can only develop like far from the street. Usually we want to keep like Main Street as a commercial corridor, but even technically if the lot's on Main Street, it's mostly located at the back, so it makes sense like to change the zoning to residential. And there are two bylaws that are prepared, one for rezoning and the other one to change like the land use map. And there's no condition proposed for zoning other than the variance mentioned. It's something that was done. So this evening is the public hearing, so people can give their comments on the project. And once we do this step, the council can start the reading and vote on the bylaw. So they will need 3 readings in total. So the council can start doing the reading this evening, but cannot approve the project this evening. So the 3 readings have to be done in 2 different meetings. And we had a recommendation from our Planning and Review Committee, and they recommended the council to accept the rezoning as presented. So this concludes my presentation. Thank you, Mr. Robichaud. I have a question from Councilor Després. Thank you, Mr. Mayor. Thank you, Phil, for the presentation. So snow removal is not a street we're buying, it's a private access. Perfect.
Conseiller Paul Boudreau.
Oui, j'ai une question tantôt.
Councilor Paul Boudreau, earlier, like request number 1, like it said have to be connected to the trunk line. So this one, no. Why? It's different sectors of municipality, so have different capacity. And the Shediac sewer commission, like there's a tool like to assess like how the system will, and they didn't see any challenges in this sector. Thank you. Thank you, Mr. Robichaud.
J'espère que je vous ramène pas de nouveau.
I hope I'm not bringing you back here. So I don't know if the applicant for this project is here, but you could address like the room if you wish to. In terms of comments from the public, we received like no comments like on behalf of the public. No objections. I don't know if anyone like in the room would like to give their opinion on this project. Seeing no one. So we can conclude this part of the public hearing. I would simply need a motion to close the public hearing, moved by Councillor Després, seconded by Councillor O'Brien. All in favor, signify by saying aye. Against, nay. Carried. Thank you.
Wait, okay.
On this note, we'll start our regular meeting. I would like to welcome you. Good evening. We have a couple of members absent. We have two members remotely, and Councillor Cormier, three. Councillor McEnroy, Councillor Sylvie Colette Boudreau, and Councillor Cormier. Simply to say, like, we are gathered on the unceded traditional territory of Mi'kmaq people whose ancestors signed the Treaty of Peace and Friendship with the British Crown in the 1700s. Mr. Clerk, we do have quorum for this evening. Yes. Conflict of interest.
Conflict of interest with one of the issues.
Conflict on 12.2.
12.2. Perfect. Donc, merci bien.
Thank you. In terms of the adoption of the agenda, we modified just a little bit since its publication. I think it was on Friday. So one, we had the public presentation. For 6.1, we will not have it essentially. And the other one was because of this, like, we're adding like the modification of the deadline for the rezoning request and municipal plan for at 15.4, and it has to do with the land of the Anglican Church. Because we were not able to do this part of public hearing this evening, it will be at a later date.
Donc,
to adopt like the agenda as modified. Question is,
Councillor Sylvie?
Councillor Sylvie?
Madame la maire suppléante, tu voulais
Monsieur Député, no, you wanted to move the agenda? Okay. You had a question? Yes, it's because I thought like, can you hear me now? He said it's because of the clerk's fault. Can you hear me now? I thought like somewhere on the agenda we were indicating like the report from the Arts and the Culture Committee. It's a grant to community organization 6. It will be in the committee report because it's not 15.1 for sure.
Je peux le faire à la 16.
So I can do it at the next one. Even you can do it at the next meeting. Judy, what do you think? We can add it to item 8, no problem. We'll add it like to 8.3.
Okay, alors, est-ce que quelqu'un doit le proposer pour l'appui?
Do we have to move and second it or no? So you move like to adopt the agenda with the modification, cancel the cancellation, and then add to 8.3 arts and culture.
Merci.
Thank you. I have a motion from Deputy Mayor, seconded by Councillor Jean-Marie Galland. All in favor, saying aye. Thank you. Against nay? Carried. The next one, adoption of the minutes for our February 3rd meeting. So you had the chance to take a look at it. I would need like a motion to adopt the minutes, moved by Councillor Joël Després, seconded by Councillor Patricia Bourque-Chevary. Questions on the motion? If not, all in favor, saying aye. Against nay. Motion carried. Thank you. 6. We have no 6.1, but we'll go like we have two presentations. First, Mr. Paul Ouellet is for the project for the recreation center. So our friends from outside will be able to hear you. Good evening. Good evening, Mr. Mayors and Councillor. First, I would like to thank you for the work you do in the community and all the municipal staff. It's really nice to live in community when we have so many committed people. I have a couple of comments and a couple of questions, if you allow me. Most of you know me. My name is Paul Ouellet. I moved here. I became a citizen in 1995. with a transfer from RCMP, and I've been living here for 30 years old, and I married a local woman. I brought 3 children with me, and I got two new ones here, and I'm involved, the community involved in hockey and different committees. Since my arrival, like in the community, I always had some discussion with different councillors and the mayor, and as a police officer and as a citizen. But since 1995, the different council and mayors said, we'll do something for our youth. We'll do something for the youth. I've been hearing this for 30 years. Well, we did some things. We did not change arena, but arena is getting quite old. Like it's some problem. We need some repairs, like some ice section that do not freeze up properly, and there's a lot of work to do. I'm waiting and waiting. So my children, like they're all past that age. I have grandchildren coming up, and I would like to see something like a sports center that we need. Not only for my family, many families in the region, like they're asking. And I think last year we had a public consultation. Following the public consultation, it came out like people would like to get a sports center with arena, pool, gymnasium, and also like a walking trail, like and I can say how long it can take. It can take all the time it takes, like to drive our children like to Moncton for swimming classes, or you lived that situation for a long time too. Following the public consultation last year, we did not hear back, except like what people said. No communication. I was made aware last week that I think an engineer was hired to start the project. More or less, but and I know that the last year it's not making as what project I would like to see. Like I see all like the barriers, like with regulations and government, and we're very far from having a place. And some individuals, like they would like to have something. Like so with the health problems, like for my back, etc. In the winter, I can't walk outside, so I have to go to Moncton or Dieppe. Now I could even go to Capelé. So once they have they get their new center, so we're far from this. I would like to get some information to see where we're at with this project, and how long do you think it will take to develop this project? It's not a matter it's nice to have, it's a necessity. And people who walk in Moncton, and I'm walking Moncton at the K Arena or the Uniplex, and even when to walk in Bouctouche, I shouldn't have like to walk so far in the winter. Some people do not have the health. I would like to put more a priority. When I saw the action plan, like there's not a whole lot of information except saying that we'll look to developing something. There's nothing. We have an arena, we have soccer fields. And for and I can tell you, as a police officer, I've been a police officer for a while. I saw like some youth, and I saw some youth that got into trouble, and 80% of the youth that we were arresting, they say, well, we have no place to go. In the winter, they can go to the arena. But if they're not like hockey fans, like they have nothing, like a gymnasium, like having a gym with different organized activities, like not just roaming around. It would be good for the community youth. And I
Grand temps,
think it's time. I know it's expensive. It costs a lot, no doubt.
autour de nous autres,
But
on
all
dit,
around
ah,
us, they have money. Memram Cook got money like to develop something.
On sait qu'est-ce qu'ils font à Capelé,
I know what they're doing. Capelé, Bouctouche has it already. That's where we're said like that we're more one of the most progressive town in the province. It's southeastern.
Probablement la pire arena qu'il y a pas.
Like except for the farm in Bouctouche, probably have the worst arena. Like it's time for us to do something.
Puis moi, j'aimerais juste que
And I would like to have an idea. Like my question: you have any operational plan in place? Do you know where you're going with this? And how long do you think it will take? I know it takes some time, but we're leaving some money on the table. Like when we go to the government meetings, we would have the opportunity last fall to get some money, but we're not far enough. Like we left like 25 millions on the table. I would like to ask like where are we going with this one? And I understand like it's a question I had like from many people. And when we're announcing officially, it's still to come. Like in terms of the town strategic plan, it was just adopted in February. We're developing like the operational plan, and essentially it's more detailed, and part of it like it's the recreation center, like it's planned like will progress on this fall. It's not something I have right in front of me. Like the other thing, the consultant we hired, like Mr. Bouchot, at the time he did the consultation, and he prepared like a schedule for us. Like as for, I remember like
on est rendu au point où est-ce que on retient les services.
We're at the point like we're retaining services like to develop like the business plan, because that's what it will take like to get like our government partners, federal, provincial. So we already presented something. I said do your homework, and it seems really nice, but once you have more meat on the bone, then we'll be able to see like how much you will need. We're making progress, but it takes some time. I would like for it to be done overnight, but it cannot be done. But still, like I would say 4 or 5 years I've been hearing about this. This council, like we made some progress here, we will develop it. The council voted in favor, and the council voted in favor, like to retain Mr. Bouchot's services, like to determine like the component for this new center. But at the same time, we wanted to have a schedule to see like how fast like we can realize this. So it gave us an idea, and it's subject to some changes. So Mr. Trump, I don't know if it have an impact or not, but
at least know the path that we're going to follow on that front. Well, can I give you an opening date? No, I can't give you an opening date. The year I'd like to, but I won't even go there. It would just be pulling a figure out of the air. But we know that we will make progress. Once the business plan is done, then the council will have a better idea in terms of what means we have with the assistance available. What can we do with that? The federal and provincial assistance programs will be there in some form or another. Sometimes they're more generous, sometimes less generous. Basically, that's what varies. But we do know that we develop things so that they can really support our project. We're moving towards that. We hope that once we have more things to say to our population, we will share it. Right now, what we can say is we can explain the roughly where we're at, but I don't have anything concrete to offer to you just yet. That's the only update I can do. When I ask somebody, nobody seems to know. I just wanted to ask the question. It's my pleasure to share that with you tonight.
Donc,
I can't give any more
pour,
details.
prochain point,
So next item, next presentation, Community Services and Recreation Department.
J'ai vu que vous étiez plusieurs.
I saw there were quite a few of you that were here tonight. Thank you, Madame Paulin, Madame Duguay. Hello.
Vous voulez dire un petit mot en premier?
Would you like to say a little introduction? These are community development officers. Fanny has been with us for 3 years, has been with us for 3 years, or 2.5 years. It will be 3 years. And Liette has been with us for a year already. It's a great team, very, very hardworking. And our objective this year, it was to bring forth initiatives and create new partnerships to produce some initiatives and programming and events in the work we do with the community. The team has really met those objectives perfectly. They really are right on it, and they're bringing a few changes as they're assessing the response of the people who are participating in the activities. So they are here to present what will be modified just a bit. There's a special mention here. We have Benjamin with us. He's a young person who follows the council meetings. He regularly listens to you on YouTube. It's the son of Fanny. Or Fanny's son. Well, thank you, Benjamin.
Oui, je commence en quelque part.
You have to start somewhere. So, good evening. It's Fanny Duguay. We'll start the presentation. Sylvain? Inaudible. Do you have the HDMI connected?
Juste le pointer vers vous.
Point it towards yourselves. So we'll start with the Winter Carnival report that happened in January, February. Next will be June, the month of Parks and Recreation, the Generation Day, the Trails Day, and something new this year. We will have the summer rhythms. So as you know, the Winter Carnival happened in January and February, 17 January to February, total of 19 activities during the Winter Carnival. It happened over a month. So you can also see the long list of community partners that we have. So lucky to have all of those people around the table when it comes time to offer programming. So there are also, despite the great participation that we've had for most of our activities, we did get some comments and suggestions for 2026 related to the length of the Winter Carnival. So for 2026, we had some challenges around communication and engagement and some budget limitations. So we thought to cover that, we thought that we'd shorten the carnival a bit to 10 to 14 days, as it was before. I think 3 years ago, it's been for a month. So we're going to reduce it for a bit. It would allow us to offer our programming, our full programming, but with a little less space between each event. And that would help to keep the momentum and the engagement in terms of communications and marketing. It would also make it easier. Well, the launch went well, but we did some challenge to keep that momentum up over a month. So that would be one of our recommendations. And we'd also like to propose to not remove anything from the programming from the organizations. We would have the opportunity to offer a winter programming that could revolve around smaller events, but that would really feed into services. Still, that's for 2020 Winter Carnival 2025.
Merci.
Thank you. Now it's June. It's the Recreation and Parks Month. This year we'll do a partnership with Football New Brunswick. We want to expand our services with the amalgamation with these new communities. We're going to go to Pointe-de-Chêne to offer flag football, and we're working hard to bring the hop-on program. It's a cycling program for young people to learn to do mountain biking with different techniques. And you also see I put a photo of macrame. We'll have different workshops once a month at the multi-use center. I'll put macrame, but we'll probably have canning, for example. We really want to get a wide variety of people. And then it's the spinning day. It was a major success last year. This year, that evening will come back. Will be offered again. Next, we have the Intergenerational Day. Each year, it's June 1st. Last year, we had an activity. It will become an annual activity. This year, we're doing a partnership with Villa Providence. We will have a community afternoon at the villa. We're going to invite the community members to join the seniors at the villa, make some contact between our younger people and our older people. And next is Trails Day. That is June 7th. It will be a trail in motion activity. We really want to take advantage of our trails in the community. There'll be stations. There's walking, running. We're really working hard on that event to make it a great success. I really think people are going to enjoy taking full advantage of our trails. And on the trail day, but we'll extend it over June, we want to do a safe trail use campaign. And at the end of June, we're going to have a Good Actions Week. We're putting coupons in the community. People use the trails who do good actions, who wear helmets, putting your dog on a leash, for example. That'll be part of Good Action Week. Well, that seems interesting. We're going to hope for good weather. Yes. And finally, I know that people are familiar with the programming of shows and evenings in the park. We're trying to shake things up a bit here. We're revising the concept, but we do want to keep, we want to make it a bit different, and we want to expand it a bit. So we really thought about what we're offering. Before, it would start from Thursday to Sunday, and then on Monday to Wednesday, there were evenings in the park. Everything happened at Parc Pascal Poirier. So this year, we decided to make some changes on that front. Every Tuesday or two, it will be at Parc Pascal Poirier, or Pascal Poirier Park, as we were used to. And another one will be at the Artist's Cabin that you see at the Rotary Park. That'll be in the evening, 6 o'clock, as the regular programming that we've known for quite a few years. On Wednesdays, we formed a partnership with Parley Beach. So on the beach sites, we'll be offering activities like an evening in the park. It'll be combined with shows, music shows, as of 7 o'clock. We've been so lucky. This year, we have nearly 60 groups and musicians who have contacted us to participate in our programming of shows in the park. We had some great choice to offer some room for more people. So we expanded our programming from Wednesday to Sunday instead of just keeping it on from Thursday to Sunday. That is different. So Wednesdays, given that there's already some jazz nights in the downtown of Shediac, on our end, we'll be offering music and something different elsewhere. There'll be some things downtown nonetheless, and we will keep 3 or 4 shows in Pascal Poirier Park. We do hope to have the Pointe-de-Chêne Wharf. It still needs to be confirmed, but we would also like to offer 1 show a week at the wharf. So that would support things. It would be on Sundays. We hope to have them on Sundays. We can't confirm it, but it's looking up. So that seems interesting. It's good to include those new parts of the municipality. This allows us to offer activities that we don't have a chance to offer at Pascal Poirier Park. It's a beautiful spot, but to have a beach and some water nearby, it's always a great thing. Everybody loves a good beach. So I think that's it for me. Do you have any questions? Councillor Joël Després, thank you, Your Worship. Thank you for your presentation and thank you for your great work. This on Sundays, the music at the wharf. Have you thought of any cost to enter? Yes and no. I'm still waiting to discuss with the wharf to see what kind of agreement we can come and enter into with them. There certainly would be, it might be around $5 or $7 for a car. Okay. It was 4 last year. I thought. Oh, it went up. That's what I recall. I was just curious if it was discussion you had yet. We haven't talked of that yet. We talked about discounts for people. I know that in Pointe-du-Chêne, it's not a problem. Not in Pointe-du-Chêne, in Parley Beach. It's not a problem. Access is free as of 4 p.m. We might be able to think of something like that with the wharf, but it will depend. We don't have control over that. But if you could take your boat and enjoy, or your bicycle, or you could walk there. It is accessible by trail as well. So you can get there on foot or by trail. As active transportation. In terms of the location at the beach, where exactly will it be? The Parley Beach Park? Well, we're thinking we're going to experiment with things this year. We would like to offer it in 3 or 4 different places on the site. It depends on what the activity on offer is. For example, we're thinking about offering a sandcastle competition. That would be better on the beach. Yes. But different programming will have the opportunity to experiment in terms of seeing what place works best. I just wanted to give you a little sense of it. Councillor Paul Boudreau, thank you. This is really great, lovely programming. Just as Joël was saying around Sunday nights, if I've understood properly from your document, you wouldn't have shows at Pascal Poirier Park on Sunday. If this works, we would keep, given there's already the Sunday markets in the mornings. There's often artists who play. This is my personal opinion as a councillor. I go to the downtown and I watch all the shows. Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday. It's really great. Congratulations. A few years before the pandemic, the department put the emphasis on higher quality groups on Sunday. It was very popular. Sunday nights was really packed. It was 50-50 nonprofit groups, and I'm seeing that part of the Sunday market into September when there's no shows at Parc Pascal Poirier. The downtown is empty. I don't know if there's money missing. I'm really in favor of Pointe-du-Chêne. If the budget doesn't allow to add shows on Sunday, come back. I'm not sure what the other members of the council would think. I would support that to reconsider not putting shows on Sunday night. It's very popular. People come. Could Danny? I'm not sure if Danny can reflect on that. People who rent cottages, they would come on Sunday. They set up in their cottage or their trailer or their RV for the week. They come downtown in the restaurant, and they all immediately saw a beautiful show on Sunday night. And it really was a great kickoff for their week. And that's why I was disappointed to not see things on Sunday. It was really good. I'm not sure if it's a done deal or, well, it's not a done deal yet. It's just experimenting. I'm pleased that you brought up that point. We will definitely think of it. Our goal is to open up that programming wider to not only be focused on downtown Shediac and to bring it elsewhere, to branch out. Let's say, if it's not on Sunday, it could be a Friday or a Saturday. It all depends. In Pointe du Chêne, as Joel was saying, it's a question of accessibility, the cost to enter. It costs $5 to go concert. Parking's a challenge at Pointe du Chêne. And location-wise, I'm not sure what you're foreseeing. But congratulations, a great presentation. But think of this for Sunday night. Thank you, Councillor Boudreau. Councillor Peter Bro. Thank you, Your Worship. Congratulations for this programming. Question on the Trails Day. Does that include bikes as well? Oh, yes. Your Worship, for the past 2 years, we're talking about offering buying bells for bikes would be a great opportunity. Well, to promote safety on the trails, it would be the ideal moment to do it. I don't know if it'll take a motion to buy the bells. We've already ordered them, actually. That's great. We didn't want to say it just so that you'd bring it up. It takes a hard time to find bells in the form of lobster claws.
Councillor Miller-Bryant.
Councillor Miller-Bryant. Thank you, Your Worship. I'd just like to talk about the trail safety campaign. Could you elaborate on that? The reason I'm asking about trail safety, there was somebody just mentioned that there was a bear on our streets. A bear might show up. You might see them on the bear. Is that the type of safety you're talking about for the trail? Promotion will be done in collaboration with the communications agents. Will be on the social network using your helmet, which side of the street or of the trail you should be on. It's really safety oriented. Inaudible. Safety. Safety on trails. Trail safety. Inaudible. Inaudible. Ticks on the trails. Oh, ethics on the trails. So an awareness raising campaign on social networks. Councillor O'Brien, that's not. If I might paraphrase, it's a bit to remind people who are on their bikes what to do, how to properly stay on the right. What do you do when you show up at an intersection with a street? All of the good things that we know that we should do, that we ignore them sometimes. But there's no real instructions related to a bear on the trail. But it could happen. It could happen. I'm not sure if the bells would scare a bear, but inaudible. We'll just we'll set the big lobster against those bears. Thank you, Your Worship. Just a comment. Your idea to do shows at the park. That's good. I would encourage you to continue to explore Pointe du Chêne as a possibility. I think that we're now a large municipality. There might be some issues around cost, maybe not. But even if there were, I would encourage us. I think that we have to go forward, even if there are issues related to money. The wharf is always full anyway. And I think that we should at least do it 1 year, assess it, and if we see that there's really big challenges, it's very complicated, all of our citizens are frustrated that they can't go on Sundays or Saturdays or Friday nights to see that show. I think that we can look at that next year, but I would encourage you to continue to think as you are thinking outside the box. The municipality is larger than the downtown. The downtown is a very important part, but it's a large municipality now. And I congratulate you for your initiatives.
Merci.
Thank you. Thank you very much. So you're getting some feedback from the council. We thank you for the great programming that you've designed, and we encourage you to continue. Thank you very much.
Donc, prochain point, on n'avait rien au
Next
item
item,
numéro 7,
nothing under 7, reading of correspondence, but under number 8, standing and special committees, their reports. We had the fire report. It's not the financial reports be for the next meeting, no doubt. But for the Shediac Fire Department, we had our chief's report for March. The statistics. It indicates the actions undertaken over the past month. Should you have any questions, he can accept your questions. I don't see any questions. Your report is always so complete. That's it. So the Arts and Culture Committee, Madam Deputy Mayor.
Oui, merci, Monsieur le Maire.
Thank you, Your Worship. Good evening, Council. The Arts Culture Committee met several times. Given the money that we have, we're trying to determine we're trying to, through our discussions, figure out who can get the money that they're requesting. So Fanny wrote the report. Thank you very much, Fanny. I'm not sure if she's there. April 7th, as part of its continued efforts to promote and support cultural initiatives that are local, the Arts Policy Committee granted $44,600 in grants to various organizations, various community organizations working in the area of the arts, culture, and heritage. These efforts aim to enrich the cultural life of our community, to preserve our heritage, and to support artistic creation. The organizations that benefited from these grants are the CAFI, the Société Culturelle Sud Acadie, the Community Garden, the Circle of Artists and Painters of Shediac, CAPS, Lobster Festival, the Omart Festival, and the Ciné Relève Festival. These grants will support a series of projects and cultural events that are significant, including festivals, exhibits, artistic training, as well as initiatives in terms of preserving history and heritage. It contributes to the vitality and cultural diversity of our region, while offering citizens and visitors opportunities to engage and for cultural enrichment. The Arts Policy Committee is committed to supporting the development of arts and culture in Shediac and to encourage collaboration between the various stakeholders in the sector to really make our heritage shine, our living heritage shine. Thank you for this report, Fanny. Thank you, Madam Deputy Mayor. So, we have some resolutions that would be coming under 15 for that one. Next, Mr. CAO, your report. Thank you, Your Worship. As you've already said, I'll give you as long a report as you let me talk. I would like to thank you for the meeting last week for strategic planning. Obviously, you've had a first view of where the operation plan is heading. I do encourage you to continue to engage with the documents. We'll have another meeting soon to get your comments. And the objective here is to adopt it at the next meeting. In terms of municipal operations, the department is really busy these days. Obviously, in terms of managing the assets and the 5-year plan, we're working with Eagle Engineering to develop both of those documents. In terms of summer projects, and Bridge project is now gone to tender. The tenders have been posted on NBON, and the bids are open until April 16th. We will invite you to a meeting soon to hear the results of the bids to grant the contract. In terms of the other projects, for example, Calder project and the 2 culvert replacements on the trail, the tenders should come out this week, should be published this week. So once again, at the start of May, we should be able to provide a recommendation to the council to grant those contracts. In terms of community life, there was a resident here who was asking some questions around the recreational center. We are starting that file this week with the consultant. We've already had, there's already a launch meeting set to study the file. We know that we're really working, it's not on the shelf, we're working on it actively. In terms of the Economic Development and Tourism Department, we let you know that we received the financing from ACOA for the net zero project. We are now working on hiring somebody who'd be a project manager for that project to manage the project. So you might see soon a posting to hire that contract to fulfill that mandate. We also foresee a presentation for the industrial park. Obviously, there's some details to share at the next meeting. We're planning an in-camera session to share details around that.
We had a presentation for the community life director. So at the next regular meeting, Melody will be here to share tourism initiatives we are planning for this year. As for water invoicing, the deadline to pay the invoices with a possible discount was March 31st, but now, so the resident, they have to pay full price. And we are getting ready to send a second wave of letters to the residents who were late or bad debts. And we will increase our efforts to collect those bad debt over the next couple of months. For the next step after the 31st, we increase the intensity. I would like to share with you, we were approached by the Regional Service Commission. They want to propose that we do an update to our building bylaw. All the municipalities after the reform, they were new regulations to the building codes. It gives us an opportunity to update ours, and so that the Service Commission can present the proposed changes to the building bylaw. And I would like to share that you might have heard there will be an Anglophone school that will to be built in Shediac. So the agreement has been concluded. So the province has got their hands on a line. I think last week was the date, but we will intensify our discussions with the stakeholders to see the development of the site. Just a reminder, the Habitat for Humanity was scheduled last week, but with the weather was postponed to next week, April 14, from 11 to 12. It's the building on King Street. So if you have the opportunity to come over, well, it would be appreciated. 2 weeks ago, we had the opportunity through UMNB to meet with a few departments to discuss on a few files. The two departments, one was the SDR, and the other one that we had the Regional Development Society, and we were able to discuss the initiatives we're working on, and we'll try to find a financial partners on the different projects and initiatives we would like to do for the next year. And we also had the opportunity to meet Service NB, and of course, we have we established a tax rate, but Service NB is the entity responsible for the property values, the tax assessments of the properties on our territory. And of course, we mentioned it to the department, and we recognize there is a spike protection mechanism, and that is already in place, and so people can benefit from a reduction to their bill, and it's the money we do not get any revenue. So it's in a bank, arbitrary bank in Service NB, but we would like maybe to have a different mechanism that would allow us to have the capacity to get some revenues, but in exchange, we might, if you could have a reduction for our citizens, so we can balance the whole thing. Right now, we do not have the control because this amount is controlled by the provincial department. And lastly, I would like to mention also for the staff, I know I talk about my philosophy and the work we do with the staff, how important the staff is in the service delivery, especially we have 2 employees this year. They will celebrate the 35th year with the municipality. Last month, Lise Cormier celebrated her 35th year with the municipality, and next month it will be Frank Hébert. It's always good to have long-standing employees who are dedicated, and I would like to mention also the presence of those 2 employees. And I wanted to invite the council maybe to participate to an activity we would like to organize with the staff. We are organizing, might have heard, an all-staff meet. So we gather all the staff. So we have it's a training day, and we help the communication. We help them inform on different programs. And I would like to invite you to meet the staff. So our next activity will be on April 30th, and we would like to invite you to have a breakfast with staff. It might be an opportunity to know who our employees are, and maybe an opportunity to discuss with some employees. I know we will be serving breakfast. If you want to help us serve breakfast, and maybe just take a little bit of your time that morning, just to know who, when we're talking about the municipal council, they know who we are. But I would like to see to know who are the employees are in the municipality. I want to open this door if you're interested. So I will send you an invitation, and a specific invitation, but you are welcome to have breakfast with our staff at our next all-staff day. This concludes my report. Thank you, Mr. CEO. It will be a pleasure to help to serve breakfast to our employees on that day. It's the least we can do, in a sense. And I know a couple of council members have experience. I have a little bit less, but I helped before. If you have any questions on the items mentioned by the CEO, then we'll go to our next. We had no recommendation from the Regional Service and nothing under unfinished business. 12, intro to new business. Well,
12.1,
the Shediac Lobster Festival. Mr. CEO, if you want to give us some background, well, since Sylvain is there, like I tried like with the technologies, we received a request from the Shediac Lobster Festival for I don't want to do the presentation for Mr. François, but we got a request from the Shediac Festival, so we cannot process the request in the church, and it has to come to the council. And we ask the festival to present our request, and we're not ready to do a recommendation. So if you see in your package, there's two resolutions, one to accept or reject. You'll know why, because this is a decision that the council has to make with the information shared by the festival. So is it well explained?
Donc, c'est une demande inhabituelle.
It's an unusual request, so something, and that's why we wanted to bring it to you. And the festival essentially was asking just for us a little bit of help. Mr. Poirier, so thanks to let us talk this evening. So I will be talking in French and English, like just to accommodate all the council members.
I'm here on behalf of the Shediac Lobster Festival, an event that since 1949 has been a core part of our community's identity. And as one of the oldest festivals in the province, it's fair to say that together with the town of Shediac, we've built something truly special. And I want to say this right up front, we're deeply grateful for all the support that you've always shown us. And we truly hope that you feel proud of what the festival has brought to our beautiful town. Le cela étant dit, je vais être transparent, on a terminé le 75e avec un déficit d'environ 3.
We finished ended the 75 with a deficit 1.5 million, 50,000 million. It's not an easy situation, and we're not proud of this. But it's due largely to two things that were out of our control. One was a rainy day. It cost us 25,000 in lost revenue. We had to close the site, and unforeseen increase of safety fee, 267% higher than 2023. So 20,000 over budget than the budget voted in 2023. Despite all those challenges, our team delivered like an exceptional edition, and I would like to mention over the last 5 years, we got through like a lot of changes, like the COVID hybrid edition and the celebration for it was stability for our staff, but they were able to showcase the community on large scale, especially at the provincial level. To them here, not only to talk about our current situation, but our clear vision for the future. The festival grew really quickly, so we grew in reputation, but we have to solidify our phase. But we're entering a new phase that will focus on the financial stability and also with the good management. So we had the strategic planning 3 years ago, and one of the major points was this planning was to get stronger financially. And I think we are there. A switch to English.
For Shediac, not a burden. And that's why today we're requesting the cancellation of 4 invoices for services provided by the town, totaling $35,000. These invoices cover the rental of the multipurpose center and municipal labor for both Festival Homard et Festival du Homard. This is a one-time request meant to help absorb part of the deficit without having to dip into our small rainy day fund, which we're carefully preserving to safeguard our 2025 edition. Puis, je vous le dis en toute honnêteté, oui, on a fait plusieurs demandes.
And I want to tell you, we did many requests to the council. Everyone was a proactive approach. So we worked really hard to go above and beyond of what's expected from the festival. Let's think about the relationship that was developed with Louisiana over the last couple of years, now the cultural impact. And you can talk about the Homard, the art love, like it's really like showcasing the festival through the municipalities with the tour, going all in the municipality of the Maritime. So this evening, I'm asking you for your support to make us to become more stable, because what we built together for 75 years, we think is worthwhile protecting it. Thanks for listening, and if you have any question, I will take them. Thank you very much, Mr. Poirier. Questions from council members?
Conseiller Peterborough.
Councillor Pedro. So, Mr. Mayor, I would like to give my comment on this one. So before giving my comment, I would like to ask
Monsieur Poirier.
Mr. Poirier, the lead finance lady, like, yes,
La directrice.
the finance director. As for the in-kind, so the manpower like provided by the town, how is it accounted for? Is it accounted as something due? You mean the employees working? No. So the bill, the invoice is asking, so is it accounted for as something due by the town? I might be able to answer, yes, it's a bill that it's an agreement we have with the Shediac Festival. So they want a certain amount of hours, and we give them, and we bill them for these amount of hours, and they get a bill. So the comment I would like to give first, I would like to congratulate like the festival, because the budget 1.7 million to have a deficit of 30,000 with all the unforeseen circumstances is really like remarkable. We know like what the festival brings to the community. A lot of festivals like were not able to survive with COVID, so we were able. Our festival like is known internationally, brings a lot of tourists, and this year, well, I think we'll have more tourists because of what's happening like in the States. And I think the town has to support this request. We have to understand, if we did not have like the festival committee, it would be up to the community to take care of this. And to tell you, like, if the festival was managed by the municipality, like completely by the municipality, it would cost way more than what it's costing us. I think we have to help you. And I think what you're doing to stabilize like over the next couple of years, it would be worthwhile. And I think I would be ready like to make a motion that we go forward and that we accept the recommendation of the festival.
Puis je pense, il y a quelques-uns qui ont levé la main.
There's a few when raised their hand.
Merci pour ça, conseiller Bro.
Thank you very much for this comment, Councillor Bro. If you
de parler avant? Oui. Parfait. J'ai Madame la maire suppléante. Ensuite,
Mrs. Deputy Mayor, and then I have Councillor Paul Boudreau, and then I have Councillor Alain Cormier.
Merci beaucoup,
Thank
François,
François, for the nice presentation. I will not repeat what Mr. Burrow said, but I echo his comment. Congratulations to all like the festival committee.
Conseiller Paul Boudreau.
Councillor Paul Boudreau, thank you. The same like to repeat what Peter said, but so this is the economic impact and the visibility impact. It's incredible what you're doing for our jewel, our festival. Just a question or comment, I don't know to ask you. For the two bills, for manpower, labor, I know what the festival negotiated with the department. And the second one I have a problem is the rent for the multi-purpose center. So when that center was built like a few years ago, like when we approached the committee for the public consultation, the festival was a major factor in the programming of the center. So the center is right at the middle of the festival site. I know there's a policy like this to give back. So it would help also like with the budget. If the festival happened, we cannot rent like the center for weddings or the functions. I see like the multi-purpose center is as an entity for the festival, and I think we should support them without any rent-free. It might be like another motion, another meeting, but I would like just to throw the idea out to the council for the 2026 edition. So we like to have François. We want to see him every month, but
j'ai pas de problème. Juste une
I have no problem, but I have a question for our two representatives for our festival. Like you were there at all the meetings, so you work long hours of volunteers, so it's good for the festival. I don't want to put you on the spot because you're there all the time. It's not only like the 5-10 days of the festival. So can I ask my question? Yes, I can. So yes, our representative. Thank you. Just to tell you, I support this request. It was the 75th. And as François mentioned, like there were unforeseen circumstances, was $1.4 million budget. And we heard a lot of positive comments like for the 75th edition. And I support this, and I support the work of the committee, like over the last couple of years, because I don't know if we can announce publicly, but the festival, like, had the recognition, like, I don't remember the title exactly, to be one amongst one of the events of excellence of the province, like the province as a festival. So it means like we will have way more support like from the province, such as promotion. So they recognize as a signature event. Signature events, I think we're like 5. So it's with the work, like with the 2, 3, 5 year of the team. That's why we're there. But and we discuss also with the strategic planning, with the financial part. It's an important pillar. Like
faut les aider, puis je suis d'accord avec toi.
And I agree with the multi-purpose center not to give a bill, but an invoice because it's $10,000-$12,000. But we have a very good team, and I have to brag Julie. I think she's here somewhere. If it wasn't for Julie and her team, at the end of the day, the council would be paying for all the invoices that deal with the festival. You're working really hard. We're there for the small meeting, but they are working really hard.
Councillor Alain-Cormier.
Councillor Alain-Cormier.
Merci, Monsieur le Maire. Je vais pas répéter.
Thank you, Mr. Mayor. I will not repeat all that was said. I completely agree, like with the majority of the comments. I'm ready to second the motion of Councillor Bro.
Councillor Jean-Claude Bertin.
Councillor Jean-Claude Bertin, last one. Certainly, I agree. Like because no one's going to Louisiane, I think the money should be there to help them.
So c'était une dépense imprévue.
So it was an unforeseen expenses. It was from the special budget, but and we support like the support at $75,000 per year, which is not nothing, but it's for overall expenses. If we want to make an additional contribution, that's something we can do. So, on this note, did you want to make a motion? I had a question for Carole. Yeah. So this year for 2025, because our books are closed for 2024. The books for 2024, yes, they're closed. So that's what I thought. So is this something we will go to bad debts or what? I kind of have no choice. I did invoices for 2024. Yes, it will be like a bad debt, unless I know there are some interests, like we could go against the interest revenues, but to limit the bad debt amount. If not, that's where we would go. So it wouldn't be like a grant that we're giving them and we take them like from the discretionary fund of the council. Yes, it will have impact of the year end of 2025 because it's not money we will receive. And it's possible like we might have a deficit. We'll have to declare it like in a couple of years, but more or less, I think we'll be able to get away from like to transfer or receive money as if we're receiving this year. It could be like a additional grant that we're giving to them. I presume we can do some kind of a gymnastic of this type, but yes, we'll have to do some gymnastic like to eliminate this, and then we have to accounting for in a couple of years. So maybe I would have put it as a special project or grant. So they pay the invoice and then we'll give them back. It's a possibility. But I still support. I can make the motion. Be it resolved like the Shediac municipal towns accept the request of the Shediac Clubs of Festival. I shall move by Councilor Colette Boudreau. C'est not Sylvie Colette Boudreau, Patricia Bourg-Chevarry. I was looking the wrong direction. Seconded by Councilor Peter Bourreau. Question, not all in favor, signify saying aye. Against nay? Motion carried. Thank you very much. Thank you, Mr. Poirier. Just also on the question, I know like Councilor Boudreau for invoices like during the budget process, I would recommend like if it's something you would like to see like for a one-off for the festival that we assess like for an additional grant that would be granted to the festival so that we can respect like all the other commitments we have. We will rediscuss it at the fall. So, 12.2, Yacht Club, Shediac Bay Yacht Club. Mr. CEO will give you some context. Thank you, Mr. Mayor. So the president of the Shediac Bay Yacht Club communicated with me a few weeks ago, and himself and the executive met with me, and so we attach like in your document like the transfer that happened between the municipality and the entity that was created to manage a marina a few years ago. So they're getting ready for the fall for the next AGM, like to make some changes to their bylaws, and they wanted to see and explore if the council would like to continue to be member of their board. So in the transfer, like there were two conditions that were attached to this transfer. If you look at the transfer contract, like condition and restriction is in the 2.1.
One town appointed director on board. At all times, the town shall have the right to nominate one voting member of the board of directors of the company unless or until the town renounces its right to do so. Condition 2.2.
Condition 2.2 would remain in place if the council would like to renounce to their right to sit on the executive. So the rationale that was shared over time is with the during the transfer.
Cohesion
it was to ensure like some cohesion in the transfer so that the municipality could keep an eye on the operation and from one transfer to another, and this seat would exist also with the board. So with the last few storms, the last situations, the club feels that they have a good financial management, and they feel like they're able to navigate like the different storms and challenges.
The necessary investments to protect the park, and they're asking if the council would be willing to renounce its seat on the board. I said that I would present to the council, and it's a council decision. If they want to maintain that seat, let's say that the council were to renounce the seat, they would see to the legislative changes at the next AGM, which would be next fall.
Donc, ça vous donne,
So that gives you, well,
le grand portrait de ça.
the overview.
On a une motion ici.
We have a motion that's available. Councilor Cormier, did you want to read it? And then we can move to questions if there are any. No, I do not want to read it, Your Worship.
Parfait. Conseiller Joël Desvrais.
Okay, Councilor Joël Després. 12.2 Shediac Bay Yacht Club. Whereas the town of Shediac has been nominating one voting member of the board of directors of the Shediac Bay Yacht Club since the transfer from the municipality to the organization 15 years ago. Whereas the organization planning to make a certain number of changes to its bylaw. One of them is to reorganize the composition of the board of directors, and the town can renounce its right to name one voting member of the board of directors. Be it resolved that the town of Shediac renounce its right to appoint one voting member of the board of directors of the Shediac Bay Yacht Club. I so move.
Conseiller Joël Després.
Moved by Councillor Joël Després, seconded by
Conseiller Jean-Claude Bertin.
Councillor Jean-Claude Bertin.
Conseiller Cormier, question.
Councillor Cormier, you have a question. Thank you. It might be a comment more than a question, Your Worship. As I read the document, we see that on 2010, the town of Shediac also did not collect $90,000 from the organization. It means that the town of Shediac gave $90,000 in a grant.
Yacht Club Marino.
They gave $90,000 of grant money to the yacht club. The town of Shediac in 2010 decided to do infrastructure for several millions of dollars to a company, a nonprofit company. I'm not questioning the decision. The decision was the decision to provide a multi-million-dollar infrastructure. The only condition was to have one representative of the town of Shediac. Since I've been on the council, many applicants come see us. They'd like access to water. There is access to water, but the access to water, the club does access the people who can put their small boats to access the water. If we had written an agreement, it's great to be a Monday morning quarterback, but if we written an agreement that we could have a more generous access to water for our citizens who are complaining and who have concerns, we might have better access to the water. I don't think, as a municipal council, that we should renounce a single vote on a council for the marina. We at least have somebody who represents us. I think it's Councillor Cormier who's on that board, and I will not vote for this. I will not vote to renounce something that we already have, whereby it was a bit of a commercial exchange, an exchange of infrastructure for the marina. If there's an issue that where it can come back to us and explain a larger issue than what Mr. CAO just explained, I'd be ready to reconsider. But for today, I will certainly not vote for this, Your Worship. Thank you. It doesn't pass the test for you. I understand. Councillor Peter Bro. My question is for Mr. CAO. Do you see this, that it would be a step backwards in not having that position, or does it cause problems that we not be there? Listen, I don't see that's a step backwards. Having a seat for sure gives you a vote, and you can participate in the club's decisions. I'm not saying that it will be taking a step backwards, but you do lose access. You lose the decision-making power in the operations of the club. I simply met the group. I said I need an official request. If that's what you need, explain why. There were other points, other concerns in their letter. I think that we could answer the other questions in their letter, but when it came to renouncing having a voting member, that belongs to the council. I can't answer any questions to that. Well, and obviously, the decisions that the club will make in the future, the council wouldn't have any voice in that. If the council wants to go there It's up to them. Do I see this as a step backwards? Not necessarily. Does the council want to continue to sit on this committee? I think in the point of view, the committee and the yacht club, as they showed, that it was to preserve a certain financial oversight, let's say. They feel that we're able to handle all the storms they've had to cross and the financial challenges that they faced. There might be less need of the council's oversight. Council will decide if it's a good thing or not. The agreement also highlighted that there's two conditions: that one, that there be a voting member, and second, to maintain first right of refusal. So if the club were to head in a direction where they would want to sell the assets, the council retains the right of first refusal in terms of a potential transfer. If the municipality would like to bring it back into its assets, it does still have that privilege. Obviously, it's no longer the same conditions as they were before. The language speaks of fair market value and so on and so forth. So maybe, as Councillor Cormier was saying, maybe there should be a language that's similar to offer a fairer amount of a bigger scope to the council, maybe, but at the time, that's not what was decided. The agreement of the time that was entered into is right of first refusal at fair market value. So I'm understanding that it can feel like a step backwards. There's still some security that allows some sustainability or some safeguards that they can reclaim the property if there's a bankruptcy or potential sale. But there are safeguards, obviously a little more expensive than it had been when it was first transferred. Thank you for your comments. It confirms that we have to be on that board. I will not be supporting this motion either, Your Worship. Councillor Emile O'Brien. Thank you, Your Worship. I can't really understand this explanation. Doesn't really make any clear for me. In terms of having a board member there, the fire department is doing some fundraising to buy a rescue boat. That slip will be the only place where they can launch a rescue boat once the boat is bought at the new fire hall. And at the marina, that board, there was they don't allow any from the public to go there. It's intimidating, actually, to go there. There's no trespassing signs everywhere, even on the secondary entrance off the grounds. No trespassing. I think we're making a mistake if we remove a board member on a council member on that board. I think we need somebody there from the council to maintain the interests of the town. It's like if there's a request from the fire department in the rescue boat, a council member will go talk to them and be in favor of it. Definitely not. I'll be definitely voting against this. I don't support this at all. Thank you, Your Worship. It's the group that approached municipality. They thought maybe you're not interested anymore. There's no harm in remaining on the board either. Councillor Joël Després. Thank you, Your Worship. I'm just going to repeat in terms of what the others are saying. I support. On that, it's going to be really simple. All of those in favor of the motion to renounce our seat on that board, please say aye. All those against?
No.
Majoritairement non.
The majority says no.
Merci bien.
Thank you very much. So we've safeguarded a job for Councillor Cormier.
Donc, prochain point.
So the next item,
Prochain point. Demande de renseignement des
requests of information from council members. Do you have any questions related to other items not discussed yet tonight? I would invite you to indicate that. Councilor Paul Boudreau, 2 items. I knew you'd have one. As a member of the public who brought this to my attention, I went to go see, and they were right. There are some signs that are really in bad shape on Main Street. Private signs? Yes. I won't say it in a public meeting, but I've shared it with staff in terms of the actual place. These signs are in terrible condition, abandoned. The panels are broken and rusted. I'll bring it to the attention that's appropriate. Are these road signs? No, they're commercial signs. The business is not there anymore. A closed business. There's 3 there. That's all. So for other council members, in terms of activities lately, there's one that I found very interesting. I visited the works on the new mural that will be put in. I think that we talked to staff for the unveiling. Mural for aviation. It's really great. I went with Monette. I'm really anxious that you see the details of this project. And this afternoon, I went to see at the Tims, the good participation. If we can do this more often in our activities, they're very receptive. People asking questions. And I'd like to congratulate Julie and her department. Last Saturday, I was with the intern. The intern was doing Vrais Copains, True Friends. It's a part of our segment of our population that deserves good programming. An update now. The fire hall, Bob Donald, Yves, how are we doing? Is it advancing properly? It's building. They're building it.
Monsieur McEwen.
Mr. McEwen. Well, generally, construction's going forward well. The information that we're getting from the contractor is that they foresee having it open this summer. The schedule says July so far, but expect a bit of movement there, but generally, things are going well. Excellent. Thank you very much, Bob. Just now, we spoke of the trunk now. Do you have details, Bob or Yves? When will the work get done? I heard Bob talk about Main Street, that there's work on Main Street, and the hair rose on the back of my neck. You will see under item 15.2, we're making a request to go before the Lending Commission for that project. Clearly, I don't want to tease what we're going to talk about. We do need the financing to finance the project. Though we do have financing from the federal government, we generally pay it. We get interim financing, and then we're reimbursed that money when we do claims. And obviously, the goal is to go to the Borrowing Lending Commission. The tenders are being developed, I do believe, Bob. So we have the intention of awarding that in 2025. I can't be more specific than that. One of the steps is going for the Lending Commission. If the council will adopt it tonight, we will make the application to appear in May. The deadline is this week, I believe. The deadline is this week to appear at a hearing in May. The deadline is this week, so there'll be a hearing in May. We usually get an answer, and then we can put out tenders. To clarify regarding Main Street, it would be from Ohio Road to the borders of Kapakadi. It will go along Ohio Road and cut. I know that the team has perhaps shared with the Bro-Bridge project to have some coordination when Bro-Bridge starts. There's a water line, a raw water line that goes there. There's a sewer line as well. So to get there, we're trying to coordinate work. There's a bit of gymnastics that we'll have to do there. Well, leave that to staff, especially around staff. Around sewers. Last item, I saw that Moncton and St. John will receive the summer games for 2029. I mentioned some time ago, is there still a possibility that Shediac could benefit from those games? My vision with this is that there's the summer games in our bay. We have a sailing school. We could have some activities here for 2029 games. Is there some method where we could, I could foresee that it was already done. Did we miss the boat? In 2029, we would have national visibility with the summer games. And Shediac could have summer beach volleyball at Parley Beach, for example. Can we do some follow-up with this? I know the organizing committee has already, if it's already organized, maybe we can say that, look, we'd be receptive. I've already started having those discussions. We're obviously a town that's right next door for sailing. I don't think they're going to do sailing in Moncton on the Petitcodiac River. But St. John, there's a possibility of doing it there. So I've obviously had discussions. I won't say officially. It's more off the record discussions to show our interest that in sports, some of the sports. I know that just right now, what I've been told was that the bid was Moncton St. John, and that there might be an opportunity with some infrastructures in Moncton, Dieppe, Riverview, and maybe in our neck of the woods, but there's nothing concrete so far. We will continue to have discussions and lobbying. As it stands, I don't want to speak negative about this committee. I've been hearing that beach volleyball would be at a temporary site within the Canada Games site. We already have infrastructure here in Shediac. Why pay for a temporary infrastructure when you can just use the infrastructure that we have in our region? Yes, it's an initiative for Moncton and St. John, but we're working on that file to try to perhaps have a little part of it here. We have a great team here in comms at the staff level that can present a presentation to the committee to sell our services. We have volleyball, not swimming, and we also have sailing in our bay. It would be great for 2029. It's a national event. It's a big event. Absolutely. Thank you. That's all, Your Worship. Can I add another comment? You spoke of the RCMP. There's been a change in leadership in Shediac. Maybe you met Constable Haché or Sergeant Haché. We have a meeting organized soon. One of the items we want to touch upon with him is their presence at the meeting. We would like to see them come see the council, have some dialogue with the council more regularly than was happening before. Does it mean once a year, twice a year? At least have a presence. That's something we will be asking for. So this is something that we are discussing with them as well. So, number 14, presentation and reading of bylaws. This is after the two items the Regional Service Commission presented just now.
Ouais.
So we had both public hearings for the two zoning changes that are proposed. So in each of the groups that you have, 14.1 and 14.2, there are 8 readings. So they have to be presented. Tonight we're doing first and second reading for project 59Z, P14, 11P, and then we'll do the other readings for Z14, 60Z, and P 1412P. Can we offer to ask some questions before we proceed? Are there any councillors who have any questions, or it's fine? Everything's fine. So Fasten your seatbelts. We're starting. Councillor Joël Prédé, do you want to read 14.1.1, readings 1 and 2, that the introduction of a bylaw entitled Bylaw Z-14-44-59Z, a bylaw amending the town of Shediac's zoning bylaw, be approved and read a first time by its title. Moved by Councillor Joël Després, seconded by Councillor Jean-Claude Bertin. Any questions? Otherwise, all those in favor shall say aye. Contrary-minded, nay. Motion carried. Mr. Clerk, bylaw Z-14-44-59Z, a bylaw amending the town of Shediac's zoning bylaw, Z-1444 of the town of Shediac, that we accept the first reading of we accept it, moved by Councillor Joël Després, seconded by Jean-Claude Bertin. Questions? Otherwise, all those in favor shall say aye. Contrary-minded, nay. Motion carried. So you've done your part. For the second reading, that the bylaw Z-14-44-59Z, a bylaw amending the town of Shediac's zoning bylaw, be read a second time by its title. Moved by Councillor Joël Després, seconded by Councillor Emile O'Brien. The fight commences. All those in favor shall say aye. Contrary-minded, nay. Motion carried. Mr. Clerk, bylaw Z-14-44-59Z, a bylaw amending the town of Shediac's zoning bylaw Z-1444 of the town of Shediac, that we accept the second reading by its title. Moved by Councillor Joël Després, seconded by Councillor Emile O'Brien. Any questions? Otherwise, all those in favor shall say aye. Contrary-minded, nay. Motion carried. There's one done. That the introduction of a bylaw entitled Bylaw P-14-36-11P, a bylaw amending Shediac Municipal Development Plan, be approved and read a first time by its title. Moved by Councillor Joël Després, seconded by Councillor Emile O'Brien. You're my go-to guy tonight. All those in favor shall say aye. Contrary-minded, nay. Motion carried. Mr. Clerk, bylaw P-14-36-11P, a bylaw amending Shediac Municipal Development Plan, number P-14-36, that we accept the first reading of bylaw P-14-36-11P by its title. Moved by Councillor Joël Després, seconded by Councillor Emile O'Brien. Any questions? Otherwise, all those in favor shall say aye. Motion against, contrary-minded, nay. Motion carried. That the bylaw entitled P-14-36-11P, a bylaw amending Shediac Municipal Development Plan, be read a second time by its title. Moved by Councillor Joël Després, seconded by Councillor Emile O'Brien. All those in favor shall say aye. Contrary-minded, nay. Motion carried. Mr. Clerk, bylaw P-14-36-11P, a bylaw modifying the Shediac Municipal Plan P-14-36, that we accept the second reading of bylaw P-14-36-11P by its title. Moved by Councillor Joël Després, seconded by Councillor Jamel Gadan. She stole it from you. All those in favor shall say aye. Contrary-minded, nay. Motion carried. So now, Councillor Joël Després can have a break. He seemed to like that. Councillor Jamel Gadan, would you like to read? I'm a little bit of a cold here, but.
Que le dépôt d'un arrêté intitulé arrêté Z-14-44-70, un arrêté modifiant l'arrêté du zonage de la ville de Shediac,
that it be authorized and that this bylaw be read, do a first reading by title. Moved by Councillor Jamel Gadan, seconded by Councillor Patricia Bourg-Chevary. Any questions on the motion? All those in favor shall say aye. Contrary-minded, nay. Motion carried. Mr. Clerk, bylaw dash Z 14-44 60Z, a bylaw modifying that we accept the first reading of bylaw Z dash 14-44 60Z proposed by Councillor Germain Galland. Seconded by Councillor Patricia Chevalier. I'm making it seem like I don't see you. He's like the person who's always raising his hand in class. All those in favor shall say aye. Contrary minded, nay. Motion carried. Councillor Germain, shall I continue? That the bylaw Z-44-4460Z, a bylaw amending the Shediac zoning bylaw, be read a second time by its title. Moved by Councillor Germain Galland, seconded by Councillor Patricia Chevalier. Any questions? Otherwise, all those in favor shall say aye. Contrary minded, nay. Motion carried. Mr. Clerk, bylaw Z 44-44-60Z, a bylaw amending the Town of Shediac zoning bylaw Z 14-44 of the Town of Shediac. That we accept the second reading of bylaw Z 14-44-60Z by its title. Seconded by Patricia Chevalier. All those in favor shall say aye. Contrary minded, nay. Motion carried. Mr. Clerk? Now it's 5. Councillor Germain, that the introduction of a bylaw entitled Bylaw P-44-36-12P, a bylaw amending Shediac Municipal Development Plan be approved and read a first time by its title. Moved by Councillor Germain Galland, seconded by Councillor Patricia Chevalier. All those in favor shall say aye. Contrary minded, nay. Motion carried. Mr. Clerk, bylaw P-14-36-P, a bylaw amending Shediac Municipal Plan, Development Plan P-1436, that the bylaw entitled this is number 6. That we first reading, that we accept the first reading of bylaw P-14-36-12P by its title, and that's done. There's 2 more after this. Somebody else can do it. Moved by Councillor Germain Galland, seconded by Councillor Patricia Chevalier. All those in favor shall say aye. Contrary minded, nay. Motion carried. Number 7. Councillor Patricia Chevalier. Thank you, Worship. That a bylaw entitled Bylaw P-14-36-12P, a bylaw amending Shediac Municipal Development Plan, be read a second time by its title. Moved by Councillor Patricia Chevalier, seconded by Councillor Miller Bryan. All those in favor shall say aye. Contrary minded, nay. Motion carried. Mr. Clerk, bylaw P-14-36-12P, a bylaw amending Shediac Municipal Development Plan number P-14-36, that we accept the second reading of bylaw P-14-36-12P by its title. Moved by Councillor Patricia Chevalier, seconded by Councillor Germain Galland. All those in favor shall say aye. Contrary minded, nay. Motion carried. Thank you very much. Yeah, we might say bingo. Are we doing any more for fun? No. Number 15. Motions and resolutions. Who will offer some background on this one? Madame Bélanger. I'm not a councillor. Hello, everyone. Good evening. As you know, in November 2024, we deliberated the budget and put in some reserves for grants.
So since the budget discussion, we had received other requests from organizations. Each organization, like they all have like a different request we divided them in three categories for budget. So that's what you have here in the memo we gave you. So in each of those budgets, especially the grants, you see there's a reserve. We put like 28,000, but now there's $19,650 since the beginning of 2025. We help like the garden by increasing annual contribution, and then the badminton club. Now we have this reserve. For the sponsorship, well, $2,860 in the reserve. No reserve was used since January 2025. And there's one activity there's taking a pause this year. So they're one of the activities where we put some money to offer an organization as a sponsorship will not be used. So the reserve is $4,360. Now, according to the different grants, we understand that even if we ask the organization or the group to submit like their requests before like a certain date, like by September, so to help us with our budget discussion, so we can do the next year budgets, there's always different needs coming through the year. So the administration is looking like to modify some criteria, especially the deadline, so to help to offer the possibility or a better transparency when we will revisit those requests. So that's why we're bringing like different requests. So in different grant, if we start with the grant budget, the 21,030, two groups are here, like Andy Voile, like for annual operations, and the request is for 3,000, and the festival, the music festival of Greater Moncton. So it's a new request, and their grant request, no amount was mentioned. So the administration is proposing like to make a $500 donation. Now, for the sponsorship, so the 27171 Muddy River Rollers. So this is a group. They started like to do their activities in Shediac. So they rent like the multi-purpose center. So they do their practice at the multi-purpose center. They're really active. So it will be for a second time, like they will hold one of their major events, and it's a major event, and there are many representatives, like from even from Ontario, that will come in. So they're asking for sponsorship in their package, $250 to $3,000. So the administration suggested $1,500. There's also like the Patriot football program. So this is a sponsored a yearly like a sponsorship to help the team pay different fees. So the package for the sponsorship goes from $250 to $15,000. The administration is proposing to offer a help of a donation of $1,000. For the third budget, in your budget for special project, the three groups are part of this one. So the Scudo Golden Age Club recently, like they did some renovation to improve like their light system. So their request is $19,074. So it would be the balance of the fees left. They got like a grant from NB Power to help with their renovation. There's also like the disc golf organization. So the disc golf organization, like they did a presentation a few weeks ago. So this is mainly like to help to finalize like the construction of their court course, and also to purchase some material. The request $10,000, and a group here like that we mentioned last year, and they hold one of their events, Luxor Shriners of New Brunswick, and the help is for the logistics, like for the expenses related to the events, is to rent like the multi-purpose center and the safety fees for the parade, for their parade. So voila, that's it for the presentation of different requests, and then I can answer your questions. First, well,
Oui. La motion qui était dans le
so the motion that described had two items that were included in the grant budget for the special budget. So the motion was modified just to make sure like you have the right version. It's like a refresh on your iPad, but I would need a motion like to start the debate on that one. Councillor Paul Boudreau, would you like to read it? Just a question after. Yeah, if you can, read them. Therefore, be it resolved that all requests be granted, the monetary assistance requested and the request for assistance that did not have a specific amount be granted the amount proposed by the administration. Thus, be it resolved that the following monetary assistance be granted via 1-1-1033 budget grant. Andy Well, A-Bill Sales 3,000. Digo Conservation.
Il y avait un petit pépin là, de la motion.
Oh, there was a little problem like with the motion. So the Digo Conservation is the special budget. Like you should have like the new version of the motion. It's a scare of refreshing like his screen.
Je fais le reste de la lecture, tu pourras le proposer. Donc, on y voit les sales à $3,000.
Able Sales, $3,000. Festival Music Grand Moncton, $500. Via 1-17171 budget community sponsorship by the River Culture, $1,500. Patriot Football Program, $1,000. And via Council Special Budget, Digo Conservation, $10,000. Local Shrines of New Brunswick, $5,000. And Scudo Golden Age Club, $19,074.10. Moved by Councillor Paul Boudreau. Seconded by Councillor Charmaine Galland. Question. So the Luxor Shrine Parade, so what is it? Like, is it something big or? June 7. June 7. It's a Shriners organization from New Brunswick. They will come here like to hold their conference. So what's important is like the parade. So they have the marching band from RCMP will coming. So we'll start from the multi-purpose sensor, and it's something that will come later. The council, like just to make just for information, I could almost do it right now. We will use Main Street to walk up to Chesley Street in order to be able to see the Shriners. So if you have a small car. My second comment is, I know in principle we have 23. It's a principle like the Festival de Musique du Grand Moncton. So why do we grant it? I'm not convinced if there was a music festival in Shediac, Moncton would grant it. Are there any youth from Shediac? Yes, we have some youth from Shediac. Okay, forget about my question. Thank you.
Conseiller Peterborough.
Merci, Monsieur le Maire. Moi, j'ai peut-être un
Councillor Peterborough, so think I might have a memory blank. Muddy River Roller. Is it roller derbies? Okay. So they do their practice at the multi-purpose center. So we did the test. So just to make sure it would go well. So really what they do is a practice. They do not do competitions or no contact or nothing, but learn how to go forward. So they have their skates and it doesn't bother. Like, we check all of this.
Les arenas sont pas disponibles.
The arenas are not available in the winter. I know. Not for roller skates anyway. You can come and see. Like, it's really nice to see. So they take like the ABCD room, no? 2 to 3 rooms. Yeah, it's good.
On apprend quelque chose tous les jours.
We learn something new every day.
Donc,
So,
quelque chose,
Non, c'est juste pour répondre à la question de...
just to answer like the question from Councilor Boudreau for the festival.
Donc,
So,
pour ceux-là, non, sur la distance, non.
for those remotely, no questions, oh?
C'est bon. Donc, sur ce, tous en faveur.
On this note, all in favor, signify by saying aye.
Non.
Against, nay.
Adopté.
Carried. Thank you.
Numéro 15.2.
15.2. Municipal Capital Borrowing Board.
Trunk sewer.
The trunk sewer. Councilor Bouchard, thank you. Municipal Capital Borrowing Board. Be it resolved that the municipality of Shediac, under the Municipal Capital Borrowing Act, is asking the Municipal Capital Borrowing Board for authorization to borrow for capital expenses for the following terms and amounts. Purpose: environmental health services, new sanitary trunk to sewer line, 30 years, 7,056,225, new sanitary trunk sewer line, interim financing, 3 years, 10,360,000. Be it further resolved that the treasurer be authorized in the name and on behalf of the town of Shediac to negotiate interim funding for the general capital fund according to the authorization issued by the New Brunswick Municipal Finance Corporation. I shall move, Mr. Mayor. Moved by Councilor Patrick Bouchevary, seconded by Joël Després. Yeah, sorry, I cut you off. Any component, like, just to mention, like, I wanted to show, like, in a project 17.4 million, 10,360,000 we're getting funding for. Yes, it's a funding, it's established for 3 years, but it will be removed as soon as the cancelled as soon as the project is completed. Councilor Paul Boudreau, question I did not understand. So the total project, like, represent like 17.4 million, and 10.2 million will get in funding. It's coming also for another financial partner. It's just like a financial interim financial request, because we have to pay, like they pay. I know, yeah, could be a liquidity problem. So I'm just wondering, like, so we develop a lot, like Bow Bridge, and to have like the project and how it impact like the debt, like, because we had a presentation from a citizen. So could we have like an overview of what we have? I see like Bow Bridge, like 12.5 million. So where are we at? Like, so we presented during the budget process. So it already exists. So you can see, like, during the budget discussion, like through eScribe, you will be able to find those documents. So the 10.3 million, we still have to do the authorization request for borrowing, but it's strictly like an interim financing. Just imagine, like, the project 17 million. We don't have a choice. Like, we have to pay like 17 million in bills. That's the if it's a real invoice. Everything that includes a project is 17 million. But we are getting 10 million from other partners, other instances, but we still have to pay. We do not have the cash flow to pay it. So we're asking, like, for a credit line to a bank or a financial institution. So you see, for 3 years, the project is finished. As soon as the project is done, this money is repaid and this debt is eliminated. So really, there's only the 7 million that up to 7 million under the debt profile. So we're always asking, like, to borrow a little bit more, because we're not sure where the grant will come from. If it becomes like a $14 million project, we have an interim funding for about $1 million, and we might have some purchasing or legal transfer for maybe $500,000. It's a 15.5 million, and We only borrow like the 5.5 million. I'm not questioning the very good project, as the mayor said. The section southwest. So we're asking like globally with the rest of things. But the company we hired like for the, so will they be aware of the financial capacity, like including?
Alors, ces sommes-là a été déjà présentées.
So these amounts were already presented like in the budget forecast. We might have done some small adjustment and we might have to change it.
On veut être plus safer than sorry, mais
it's better to be safe than sorry, but we want to be like a conservative in our numbers. So when the submission come in, like we'll know like what is the real impact.
So is this amount guaranteed? It comes from the federal department, like to the regional corporation. It's through a funding.
Ah non, ça c'est déjà la lettre de confirmation.
So the confirmation letter is over a year old. It's coming from the former government of New Brunswick, even better. So on this note, all in favor saying 5, saying aye.
Contre non.
Against nay.
Adopté. Merci.
Carried. Thank you.
Numéro 15.3.
15.3, legal measures, non-compliant construction. So this is our CAO, or Mr. Clerk.
Je peux te le laisser, Yves, si tu veux.
I can leave it to you, Yves. So you're doing your pass like just before the goaler. This file is going quite a long time ago, I think September 2023. And we notice it's already in the hands of our lawyers, but in a sense, we never had a motion on behalf of the council. So we have two files that are with our lawyers. Is for non-compliance, like not like buildings that were built or in lines outside the lines that did not ask for a permit, like with 360. So you had the letters that were sent by Plan 360 to ask to citizens to comply. We're at the step like where the owner did not answer at all to Plan 360. So what we're asking is simply like to give the authorization like to go legally and ask our lawyers to proceed like with the legal file. Councillor Després, would you like to read? 15.2 legal measures, non-compliant construction. Whereas the Southeast Regional Service Commission has exhausted its legal actions against the owners of the land identified by the PID 705-45413. Whereas it's up to the municipal council to authorize or not legal measures to force compliance with the bylaw. Therefore, be it resolved that the municipal council of the town of Shediac authorize the administration of the municipality to initiate legal action against the owners of the land identified by the PID 705-45413. I shall move. Moved by Councillor Joël Després, seconded by Councillor Milo O'Brien. Questions on the motion? Councillor Paul Boudreau. Clarification, sir. I don't know who can answer. So I read like the compliance order, and it's with the act. So why is it coming to us like to decide to go forward or not? Because if the act is there, so who are we to go forward? Like a Plan 360 is limited, like to make some progress on this file. So after a while, because it's up to the municipality, like to start legal action against those citizens because they're limited. So the last step is to send letters. If they do not comply, well, it's up to the municipality to do it. It's exactly. So the instance, like George, like which action they would like to take is to correct it legally. And it's up to the municipal council So we're not above the law, like. So we're not reacting on speeding ticket, and it's coming to us. I found it bizarre, like because the Planning Act, like the 360 has some its limit, but then we can proceed with a higher step. So we'll ask our lawyers like to do some legal action against those citizens. Historically, like could it be nice if the council refuses? But I think we have several files like this, like because it's been going on for a few months. So it's the second one, but some will come up to the council soon. So if I can add, in my career, my recommendation was always that the administration, that the council starts legal course like to correct this because it's non-compliance to the municipal bylaw. That's why it belongs to council. I have to be straightforward. Like it's the municipality who has the final decision, but the final decision is up to the council. Thank you. Essentially, like is to follow our own municipal bylaw, but if the recommendation for Plan 360, so to correct the situation. If I can add, Councillor Boudreau, like the municipal plan, like our zoning bylaw, it's the council, like so everything's is proposed, but the decision has to be approved by the council. Councillor Patricia Bourg-Travers. Eva answered my question, so the municipality has the last say. Or involving layers, so if they do not comply, so what's happening? So the next step would be like to submit a request to the courts of King Bench to start legal action against his owner so that he complies to the bylaw. So then it would be out of our hands and they will have to present a case, and then our lawyer will defend our interest on the why, and then the judge will decide one way or the other. And of course, according to the information we have on the inspections that were done on the property and the building and the building or the construction that was done was not compliant. So the Service Commission tried to ask the owner to comply. So we'll ask the court. So it's before to do this modification. It's not necessarily did not get a permit. Like it's non-compliant. So it could be a variety of violations. So maybe did not get like a permit, and then the judge is one thing. But usually, the violation by the time it gets there, like there's other component. So the structure is not following the building code. Might be something also in the construction. It could be as bad as severe as this one. So that's why it's not only like it's not a matter of applying for a permit or not. In fact, in the September 23 letter, we indicate the section 7.3 of our bylaw, zoning bylaw. No one can do any planning like a permit, but no permit was delivered for the observed building. So in this case, it's received like a permit that wasn't asked, and the building was built without even checking.
Councillor Steves.
Councillor Steves.
I'm assuming that it's the gazebo in the backyard that we're...
I think that is, yes.
Okay. Was that something that was pre-existing, like a deck, and they put walls on it, or is it a whole new build? I don't know if that matters or not.
It doesn't matter. It could be either. Even the deck is considered an addition. If it's attached to the house, it will require a building permit. If the deck was existing and they added to the structure, it might need a building permit for that as well.
Okay, that's kind of what I was curious if it was, it was just walls added afterwards.
Yeah.
Thanks.
Yeah, sounds good. Donc, sur la motion,
On the motion,
tous en faveur, on dit oui.
all in favor, saying aye.
Contre, non.
Against, nay.
Adopté. Merci.
Carried. Thank you.
Numéro 15.4.
15.4.
Échéancier Z-14-44-62.
The modification 1366.
Monsieur le greffier, lui, on va
Mr.
faire
Clerk, if you'd like to give some background.
Une motion qui avait été
It's a motion that was presented like earlier in the year, but this evening, we have to go back and do some modification to the deadline. So the present public presentation that was supposed to be held this evening, according to what we're looking as a timeline, would be presented to the next meeting of the council, so April 22nd, 2025. So kind of postponing like the public hearing to June 2nd, 2025. We're talking about the project to change the zoning and the land use for the land where the Anglophone school will be built in Shediac.
Donc, merci.
Thank you. Councillor Joël Després. 15 modification to the timeline 744-62Z and P3436B. Whereas the municipal council received a request to modify the zoning on the land use map of the property with the PID 00882670 to collective service to allow the construction of a new school. Be it resolved that the council proceed with to study the file to determine if it's in public interest to modify the zoning bylaw. Be it further resolved that the clerk be on behalf of the council to publish on the deadline prescribed by the act, like the public notice to the adoption of this backlog, that the public presentation be done on April 22nd at 6 o'clock in the council chamber. Be it further resolved that the clerk on behalf of the council to receive the advice from the PRAC committee on the act for May 13, 2025. Be it further resolved that the clerk on behalf of the council to publish in the prescribed deadline in Article 11 on the Planning Act, the public notice concerning the adoption of a backlog, the public hearing be established at June 2nd at 6 o'clock in the council chambers to hear any objections or comment. Moved by Councillor Joël Després.
Councillor John Steeves. Question sur la proposition.
Questions on the motion?
Sinon, tous en faveur, on dit oui.
Not all in favor, saying aye.
Non.
Against, nay.
Adopté.
Carried.
Ah, pourtant j'avais regardé.
Bon? You're good? Okay.
Okay.
Sorry.
Cherche une information, Madame
You're looking for some information? Just finish maybe that one.
Fini.
C'est beau. Merci, Monsieur le maire. Je voulais juste pas oublier.
Thank you, Mr. Mayor. I don't want to forget. When I had the chance to read my quick report on the... She has a blank back. For arts and culture. Shouldn't we adopt a motion? It's not in our document. So we take for granted, like the committee submitted this, I read it and then we can go forward. I didn't want to delay. So if there need to be a motion. No. Because we already have that we met also. It was also part of the budget discussion with budget, and so the committee is responsible to see to the different grant requests according to the budget that we discussed. Thank you very much.
Merci.
Thank you.
Donc, au numéro 16, nomination.
16 nominations to committees. I recommend two additional nominations to the senior friendly municipalities and committees for the town Shediac. It was launched, I think it was February 3rd that we adopted. The two ladies who asked to join the committee. So I had the chance to discuss with them, and I'm ready to make the recommendation. I need someone to read the motion.
Vas-y, conseiller Paul. Oui.
Paul, whereas the town of Shediac, CDU-friendly municipalities and communities committee was relaunched in 2024, and several members have recently been appointed, whereas other individuals have expressed interest in serving on this committee, therefore be it resolved that the following persons be added to the municipalities Mada Committee, Elda Savoie and Daniel Routier. I shall move. Moved by Councillor Paul Boutros, seconded by Councillor Germaine Galland. All in favor, saying aye. Against nay?
Adopté.
Carried.
Nous sommes maintenant en journée.
We are adjourned, and the next meeting will be on April 22nd at 6 o'clock. Have a good evening.
Désolé, vous ne serez pas ici.
Une prochaine fois planification.
Ah oui. Puis aussi, on a
And also, like,
une petite réunion.
we will have like a quick meeting next week just to continue the review of the operational plans. It will be next Monday. So have a good evening. Bye.
Excuse-moi. Plaisir.